Hey folks, D here with another movie review, and we got First Man. So obviously it's October, and it's that time of year where your friendly neighborhood movie companies start releasing films for that ever so coveted Academy Award. And so I went and saw First Man this morning, and it's obvious it's going to be one of those movies that's going to try and push for your typical Best Picture, Best Actor, and so on and so forth. But unfortunately, it kind of falls a little short of expectations. And so let me a brief. Obviously, the movie is about Neil Armstrong, and for those of you that aren't history buffs, he was the first man to walk on the moon, hence the title of the movie. And we get to see him in his early days of his career as a pilot, and he deals with a devastating loss of his little daughter. It was really sad. Got my wife and I a little teary eyed. Anyway, after such, he applies to be in NASA's space program and their mission to get a man on the moon before the Russians do. So that's basically the whole movie. And we get to go through for the next 2 hours of going through the trials and tribulations of the program, where we see successes and fails. But unfortunately, the movie just kind of shows, but doesn't really give much in the whole area of drama. And I'll get into that a little bit later. The movie stars Ryan Gosling as Neil Armstrong. And I'll be perfectly honest, I haven't watched too many of his films, simply because whenever I see a preview with him on it, there's just nothing that gravitates me to really want to see that movie. Whether it's The Notebook or La La Land or whatever's out there, he just does not grab me as a leading man. I mean, he's been successful, so there's no doubt about that. And maybe one day he'll get me, but he hasn't done it yet. In this case, he kind of does plays the same emotion throughout the whole movie. He really doesn't do any for the character. He doesn't show much emotion, and he comes off very, very one notish throughout the entire movie. Now, I do have to give a shout out to Claire Foy, who plays the role of Neil's wife, Janet. I thought she, wasn't given very much to do, but I feel Claire tried to do as much as she can, and I thought she did a very good job with her role. Um, Especially there's one scene where she confronts Neil before he's about to go to the moon, and I personally think they'll probably use that scene to have her nominated for Best Supporting Actress. I don't know if she'll win, but if she doesn't get nominated, I think there's a little bit of injustice out there. So anyway, like I said, the biggest flaw of First Man is that it just feels more like a documentary, or just kind of going through the motions of the movie, and never really takes the time to actually, to be a movie. It's sort of like whoever got retained the rights from the book that this was adapted from was given strict instructions not to embellish anything at all. And one thing about Hollywood is they like to embellish and make things, bigger or grander, than what really happened. But it looks here like whoever did the negotiations here said we want the movie to be as it is, nothing more, nothing less, and it comes across like that in the movie. So it really, really just kind of falls flat in a lot of areas. For me, it just felt like a lot of scenes were just filmed individually, you know, and just kind of put together, and somebody said, okay, here's your movie. And, and one of the things for me, when I see a movie, or your typical movie audience, maybe, is usually, when you have something like this, you have a conflict for your main character, some type of issue that he needs to overcome. And, while we see inklings of those personal matters, we never are given a full blown conflict. Um, like I said, we're trying to beat the Russians to the space race. This is in the middle of the 60s. You have, people against the war and people against using taxpayer money. We see inklings of that, but never a full blown, hey, you know, if you don't succeed, then this happens. Nothing really for the main character to overcome. And I thought the movie fell incredibly short of that. But don't get me wrong, this movie is not a bad movie. It's just not one that I really felt did very well in being in the movie theater. When I go to the movie theater, when I come out, I usually want to have some type of, wow, that was an excellent movie. And I just didn't have that leaving, and neither did my wife. When it was over, we just kind of looked at each other and said, that was kind of, meh. It was what it was. And in the end, that's kind of what I'm going to say. If you want to see this movie, I personally feel you'll probably enjoy it more at home. On a good Saturday or Sunday afternoon, just pop it in your Blu-ray player or 4K player, or stream it if you will, and or even at night. A good family movie. There's nothing that the kids cannot see. It's nothing too extreme or over the top, and it's a well put together movie, but nothing I would really go out and spend $10 to $15 for in a movie theater. I kind of expect those experiences to be just a little bit more. Anyway, those are my thoughts on First Man. But tell me, if you get a chance to see it, tell me your thoughts. Tell me, did you like it? Did you think it was a very good movie? Do you think Ryan Gosling is deserving of any awards out there? Let me know. Post it in the comments below. I like talking to you guys. And if you like this review, hit that thumbs up character. It will help me out a lot, and I would greatly appreciate it. And if you want to hear more of my reviews, as I'll be doing more over the next few months, hit that subscribe button. And like I said, you'll hear more from me. And I'll talk to you guys next time. Peace.